Hi, we're here at Sally and Mike Yost's house in Phil. Today we do What's Up. And we're going to interview this wonderful July 4th party to see what's up in the year 2001, Taylorsville, California.
Professional.
Hey, what's up, Frank?
That's up. That's down.
Let's see
Next
now,
question.
Craig. You're 10 years older than I am. I'm 58. Right?
I'm 68.
You're
yeah.
68.
Yeah.
Were you born here?
No, Lord, no.
Where were you born?
I'm from the South.
Where in the South?
South end of Nevada.
Oh, really? My gosh.
Known as Boulder City.
Boulder City.
Yeah.
What?
They built a dam there called Boulder Dam.
Oh, yeah.
It isn't there anymore.
Okay.
They replaced it with something called Hoover Dam.
Hoover Dam.
This is a political commentary.
Did you work on that dam? No, you
Hardly, no.
never know.
My father did. I was born there.
Okay.
Okay.
And so what brought you to Plumas County?
A job.
And doing what?
First of all was building the overpass in Port Toll.
Okay.
One cold. Right after the big 1952 big snow, when the drains got stopped and all that, and we were here in 53, and all we heard about was that snow from last year.
Yeah.
And we're right on the Feather River, and that cold wind blowing up there in November. And that was 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
We left. Redding was kind of home. Shasta Dam, right?
Okay.
Went for Boulder Dam, Shasta. And then a few in between, heavy construction, and I came back here and went to work on that little spring garden overpass. I worked on a few of the dams and powerhouses up and down the canyon.
Like what kind of work did you do? What did you
I was
actually do?
a carpenter, building forms basically, and hanging off tall buildings, you know, which was my forte. I used to love to get up high. Higher the better.
Did you ever fall?
Not from the high places, I'd fall off, you know. The sawhorse, I'd fall off, hurt myself. I never fell off any really high places.
So when did you and Helen meet? Let's get Helen in on this a
There's
little
Helen.
bit, Bruce.
Swing to Helen.
No,
Get over here,
we want Helen in here.
Helen.
Helen, when did you meet Frank?
Sophomore English. We had a knockout sophomore English teacher. She had the prettiest brunette hair, good-looking woman. I was in love with her until Helen came along.
Okay. So you guys got married young, didn't you?
Yeah.
17.
He used to carry my books to you know, we shared a locker. You know, it was.
I used to buy her a hot dog for lunch, too. That's why she married me. I was the last of the big spenders.
So how long have you guys been married now?
51 years.
51 years. That's wonderful. And you live right on Highway 70 going into Quincy.
Yep. Build it, sticks and stones, one board at a time.
Okay. So, what are you doing now, Frank?
I'm kind of semi-retired or retarded, whichever way you look at it. I'm still working. I have to support Helen and my airplane. The Social Security won't give me enough money to be foolish with, just enough to keep me alive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm still working. Just everything, roofs, foundations, anything in between.
You got some questions, Bruce?
Yeah. What's the best change that you've seen since you've been in Plumas County?
The best change I've seen is not much change at all. There were 18,000 people in the county when we settled here in 55, and now I understand there's about 20,000. So it hasn't changed much. Yeah, you came back and this store's closed and that store's open, but it's still basically the same rural environment, although Quincy's changed. It's getting to be a government town, and all the rest of the towns are getting to be golfing towns, more or less. But the roads, that's the best change. You know, you can get to Reno in an hour and a half. It used to be a 3-hour drive, and oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Frank, I have a question for you. Kenny Davis is your son, is that right?
That's what he claims, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's quite a piano player, and maybe you could tell us how he got started with that.
His sister decided to take lessons somewhere back in the shuffle, and so he said, well, I think I'd like to try that too. And he did, and his sister learned to play the piano. But Kenny learned to play the piano, and then he went on to really be an artist at it. And that's where he is today. He just loves the piano.
He does. He entertains us at quite a few parties, and I've helped to move that piano around
God, I wish he'd have,
hundreds of miles.
I have. Sometimes I wish he'd have taken up the violin or something. That's why he carries the accordion around too, so he doesn't have to go with the piano. Sometimes though he forgets to squeeze, and it doesn't work.
Okay.
Are we talking or are we
Yeah,
just...
this is Marv and Norbert Schmidt. I first met them quite a few years ago, and I took an art class from Marv at Rehwald College. And since I last saw the two of you, I think you've been a lot of places in the world, right?
Yes, we have.
Why don't you just give us a few descriptions of some of your adventures and where you've been?
Well, we lived in Saudi Arabia. We became international teachers, and we lived in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, and their world is very interesting. It's not a place you want to spend your life, but it's really interesting. Would you like to tell about the next place we lived?
We lived in Korea for 1 year in the city of Seoul, and that is the biggest city we had ever been in for any length of time.
How big is it?
Including its surrounding suburbs, it's 18 million people.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't have a car. We did everything
Which is a rare experience.
We did everything by subway, and they had an excellent subway system, which was developed after the Korean War, and was well, I don't know. Has he stopped filming?
No, he hasn't stopped filming. He's trying to turn off his walkie-talkie.
Anyway, Mary,
Anyway, it went down about 7 or 8 or 9 levels underground.
Wow.
Levels of train. And it was very efficient.
anyway, I want to say, Mary, that we miss you here at Casaday, and what you contributed in terms of your interviewing senior citizens.
That's what this is.
Continuing.
You're continuing, right?
To come back and get us when we're in bed sometime.
Well, whatever. Thank you,
We sleep with
Norbert.
2 pillows each now.
So the name of this show is What's Up? So what's up with you, Norbert, this summer?
Well, tomorrow we'll be up on a ladder painting the side of the house.
Okay.
That's how exciting life is now.
All right.
It's a real hoo-ha.
Are you going to go back to any more countries?
Travel.
Just travel.
We were going to go to Nepal this fall, but the royalty isn't agreeing with it very much.
Yeah, where I live in Ashland, we have a Swamiji, who knew that whole family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he said that Prince, who was the son, had evil energy about him whenever he would come to the table.
That's a wonderful way to put it.
Yeah, he said his energy was all wrong.
I think we probably call it schizophrenia
Yeah,
or something like that.
So did you get a teaching assignment in Nepal, and then you
No,
decided
no, we're just traveling. We're just traveling.
Yeah,
places.
so you're through teaching.
We're not going to teach it anymore. For one thing, it's really hard to get jobs when you're past 65. So,
You better keep that in mind.
yes, if you want to get a teaching job abroad, try it.
Okay.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe some people could.
Well, I'm reading a book now called Fenolosa and His Circle by, it's about a guy who went to Japan never mind, he went to Korea too. You heard of this guy? Okay, fine, that's the end of that question.
Did he teach?
He was one who helped save a lot of Japanese and Korean art.
Oh.
And after the Tokugawa shogunate period ended and emperor came back.
You want the water or the wine?
It is remarkable what they throw away there. Families do not realize what they have. Come by support us sometime.
Okay.
We have a couple things that, I mean, we don't have any great fabulous artifacts.
We have a lot of stuff.
That's right.
It's all over the place. It takes 4 days to dust.
You sound thrilled, Marv. Oh boy.
Anyway, how long have you been here?
Till Monday.
Oh,
So should we cut now?
Cut, yes, we're not that interested.
Well, Marv, one of my good friends, Phil Gallagher, was an art student of yours at Feather River College, and he's now making a pretty good living at art. And I'm wondering, are there other students you know of from Feather River that have gone on to be professional artists?
I know of students who are teaching or did make at least part of their income from art. One is Dorothy Edwards, who's the art teacher at Worcester High School in Reno. Robert Laurie was an art teacher in Chico for a while. Mary DeLave and Robin Sr., both of whom were here from the Bay Area for at least 2 years, were doing jewelry and such. I'd see them occasionally at fairs down in the Bay Area.
Wasn't Robin a graphic artist for Sierra Club
Yeah,
one time? Back when that was more acceptable.
I'll think about maybe some more when I leave.
Well, I know Phil's told me that you had a big influence on encouraging him to stick with art, and that you recognized he had the talent, and so I think you were instrumental in helping him get to where he is today.
I've been very flattered with Bill and his success.
We'll have to ask him what's up one of these days. All right, thanks you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's nice seeing you. And sometime when you come to Plumas County, come by our house and we'll come visit her. Let us know when she's coming, and we'll have dinner. Okay.
I still have your Spanish.
Okay, I thought it would be good to ask a couple of twins, what's up? And what's it like to be twin sisters?
It's freaky when you get older, don't you think?
It is.
It's very freaky.
It becomes the main topic of conversation for other people, and they think it's, oh no.
So,
And guess what?
Well, what happens is everybody, when I come here and they know Sally, they say, oh, how could anybody ever say you look alike? And then about a week later, they've lost it, and they've started confusing us. Then they freak out, and then you have to calm them down and say that's okay, because it isn't the first time it's ever happened.
right, I imagine it's been pretty entertaining over the years, and you guys have probably played to that sometimes, or...
We haven't.
No?
No, we just have learned to be polite. The funniest thing that ever happened to me was sitting in Morning Thunder with Chuck James, who looks like Sally's husband, Michael. And this woman came over and she had us down, because there was Chuck, so that was Michael, and there's Sally, not Mary. So she came over and she started this whole conversation with Michael and Sally, but it was Mary and Chuck. I didn't know how to help her save face, when she realized that, I don't remember, somebody from the hospital or something. But she went on, and I finally had to say, we're not who you think we are. So, but it's okay. We aren't psychic.
No, you don't have any those kind of whatever you psychic things? No.
No, we don't.
Well, that's good. That might get a little bit
Sometimes,
weird.
sometimes we're like two positive ends of a magnet. Sometimes they repel because we're too alike.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of keep our distance from each other because there's not that complementary part of most people's relationships.
Yeah.
So that happens.
Now, when you were young, did you have the same room or stuff like that, bunk beds?
We had the same room, and then how old were we? When one of our brothers went off to college, and then freed up another room.
Ninth grade.
Mary took the little room at the head of the stairs, and I got the big room that we had used all those years.
And so that was kind of nice to have your own space.
Yeah.
My brothers and I, it was the same type of thing. Not that we're twins, but yeah, it was kind of nice to just have our own space. There's always that, I don't know if it's sibling rivalry or just, the kind of interaction that kids have with one another, kind of a pestering type of thing or something.
Well, see, now I've wanted to go back to this twin event in Ohio that happens every year, and I don't think Sally's at all interested, but I think it's hilarious.
If we're the next town over, or if we're 3 hours drive.
They have a sort of a twin gathering for a week every summer, and then I saw a show on PBS where they interviewed some twins that had gone to this thing. It was just hilarious to see all these twins.
It's kind of like being on a dwarf or something.
It's different.
It's
I think
different.
it's neat.
When
And
Mary's-
I've gotten you confused before.
Yeah, and when Mary's around for very long, I start to feel kind of like
You don't have any originality.
yeah, and it's kind of like, well, there's this other person out there. It gets a little spooky.
Because we think we're very different, but when nobody can tell you apart, you know you are that different.
People confuse my older brother Peter and I, and there's 2 years difference between us, but just because we look similar, and I guess have some similar characteristics, mannerisms and stuff, that people can get us confused. So I know how it is a little bit, but I'm sure it's a lot more with you.
Well, when we were born, I was 5 pounds and Sally was 3. So they called her the little banana and me the big apple. And we kind of kept the same ratio.
Not the same ratio, but you know.
Well, I just like to say that you're both wonderful friends.
And you're a wonderful friend.
And good energy people, so two of you is just twice as much good stuff. Thanks for the
Thanks a lot.
letting us know what's up.
Okay.
Okay, well now, Hank, have you ever been interviewed by 2 twins before?
No.
No. Well, Mary, she talks from that side and goes through here.
That's right. I'm a clear channel.
Hank, where are you from?
In what sense?
Where were you born?
I was born in Riverside, California,
When did you come up here?
in July of 1985.
Wow. And what do you do up here?
I play music, and record music, and I reinforce sound for music and concerts.
Can you talk a little louder, please?
I could talk a little louder.
Great, great.
So you're a musician full time?
Or a music
I have
technician.
spare time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being a musician full time.
What group do you play in, or groups?
I play with Shelley Miller and Dave Johns and Mark Satterfield and Johnny McDonald and an acoustic swing quintet called Foot Swing. And I play with Susie Wilson and Johnny Walker in an acoustic blues trio called Snake Oil. And I play with David Hollister, Jerome Little, Johnny Leal, Susie Wilson, Mark Satterfield, and Jim Norman in a band called Secret Mountain Rangers.
Is that Susie Wilson, Susie Rose?
No.
No, different person.
Susie Wilson lives in Taylorsville. She's a blues singer.
Okay.
Probably years ago, before I got here, you might have heard her with, say, Gordon Wilson, Artie Garcia. people
Okay.
like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
before my time.
So what do you like about playing music? Is it
What's
the
not
most exciting
What's
thing?
not to
What's
like?
not to like? Yeah. What do I like about playing music? Gosh.
Well, what turns you on the most? Everything turns him on. All you have to do is hear him play.
Probably, I don't know, the way you feel when it's in process.
Uh-huh.
You know, when it's actually happening. That's a space if everybody is sensorially and musically in touch with each other.
Yeah.
You know, and so you have this big conversation going on.
How long can that go for sometimes?
Long time.
An hour?
Yeah.
2 hours?
Mm-hmm. In public, usually not longer than about 20 or 30 minutes.
20 or 30
Pushing
minutes.
it.
Yeah.
10-minute song is a long song in public.
How did you learn to play music?
By practicing with an instrument.
I mean,
Did you learn at home?
My dad played the piano. And he played stuff that he had written.
yeah.
So when I was a little bitty kid, you know, I'd be calling around on the floor, and this guy would be wailing on the piano, and there wouldn't be any music in front of him.
Okay.
So he was playing the piano. I wanted to learn piano. When I was 10, we moved from Riverside to Lincoln in the Valley. And my mom found me a piano teacher in Sacramento. So we drove there for lessons, and for 2 or 3 months, I studied under this woman, an older woman in a severe black dress with those kinds of glasses that go,
Yeah.
you know, and have a bunch of headlights
Yeah.
on them. And she would hit my hands with a ruler when I made a mistake.
Oh my God.
And I didn't even pick up on why. This is how unaware I was. On why, a few months later, I lost interest in the piano. But I stopped taking piano lessons. Then, at the end of the summer between the 8th grade and freshman year in high school, I wanted a guitar on my birthday. So we went to Sears and Roebuck and got one.
And that's when you started playing a lot? And you taught yourself, or did you just kind of hang
I took it home with a book that showed you how to tune it. So I got home, I tuned it to the piano at the house according to what the book said. Then I went in my room and closed the door and I put on a 45 of Kingston Trio's Tom Dooley. And you know that intro?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. And 45 minutes later, I could play that intro.
All
That's
right.
it. So I did it by just recuing
Isn't that the Suzuki?
the record. Yeah, it is actually.
Really? Yes.
Without the intervention of a teacher.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I need. I need a little. Well, it's a good thing that that woman didn't whack it out at you. I mean,
Well, I
could've
didn't realize,
succeeded.
I was very unconscious about all this. I didn't have
You
any
just
awareness of what my
accepted it.
program. I just sort of wandered in life on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And so that was messing with the guitar and not wanting to take lessons. 3 years later in high school, I took 3 lessons. And that could have just been the teacher.
Yeah.
I just took the only teacher I knew about. And 3 lessons with him was enough for me, and I stopped that.
Do you give lessons on the guitar or any instrument?
Well, no. So far, guitar, mandolin, banjo, bass, and Casey Kingdon has made me a piano teacher, which is a shameful thing for him to have done, because I'm not really a piano player, but he and I have been working together for 18 months, and he's doing really great, so I can't complain.
So what do you teach him chords? You teach him?
No, he's working his way through the Suzuki book,
Oh, really?
and then other stuff. Colton's doing the banjo, so as he's learning a tune, and I have Graham Murray learning chords for it, and Kylan's learning the bass parts, and along with the Suzuki, Casey's learning chord changes and to play along with. While Colton would be playing cripple beats or boil and capture stuff.
So you don't really need to be a piano teacher. You just have to know how to run that ruler.
Right. I just whip him till he gets it right, Bruce. I say, your daddy sent me a rope. We dipped it in the barrel, and one fuck up and you're done.
All right.
Oh gosh, great. So Hank, when somebody asks you what kind of music do you play, what do you say?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good. You play yes
Well,
music?
I like lots of styles of music. It's fun to play almost any kind of music at one time or another. I don't like bombastic rock, heavy metal stuff. It just puts your nerves immediately. And so does a lot of Germanic opera. You know, that kind of stuff.
Wagner. You don't like Wagner?
Yeah, not too much. And I think that that kind of opera and that kind of rock circle my clothes there as far as all types of music we have, and that they're both similarly kind of bombastic. But M.O.R. Schlock, like Barry Manilow type stuff is really boring to me, although a lot of the musicianship on this kind of production it is really kind of beautiful level.
So now you have a family, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Are they all musicians?
No.
Any of them?
They all are interested in music and listen to music and mess with it in some way or other. My oldest daughter is 31, and practices the piano and has fun.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Lannis is the oldest daughter, is 23, and she was a good fiddler about a long time ago.
Yeah.
Her younger sister. She's a good fiddler and a good singer. But what she does now is she owns a popular dance instruction studio in Austin, Texas, the most successful one there.
She owns a what?
Popular dance instruction
Oh,
studio.
really? I was just in there.
Go Dance is the place. So music is a part of her life all the time, but she's not playing.
Okay.
Shadry is the next one down, who's an amazing singer. She's one of the finest, natural, just pure singers I have ever heard.
Really? You should hear her, Mary.
Mesmerizing.
How old is she?
She just turned 21.
Does she sing around here?
No, she lives in Lexington, Kentucky.
But she's
gone
she
through
has
a
sung
period.
here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
She
we've
did a
all
lot.
done the same.
Yeah. She sang.
So I would say your family's musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next one down played cello a little bit. Shadry was a good violinist and was learning to be a good rhythm guitarist. Marissa played cello for a long time. Sometimes she does now, sometimes she doesn't, but she listens to music. Sort of sings out through lots. Tessany cooks. The one who's 16, and she has been cooking since she was 10. She's an amazing cook. You could say 50 workmen are coming for lunch in 2 hours. And she'd say, no problem, I'm headed to the store. You know, no, it'd be really good food for 50 workmen. Plenty to eat and a dessert.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Why didn't she
You could say 6 or 7. Well, she's 16.
Because 50 people eat there in a month. So.
She's 16.
It's okay. 16
She still has her learner's permit, you know.
Yeah, it's okay. She can learn at the Grizzly Park if we need her. Hey, now you are two bodacious women, and I want to know how each of you got here. Carol, how did you come up here to Plumas County? When?
It started when I was very little.
I don't want to hear that part of it.
When did I come?
Yeah.
1970.
What brought you here?
We were looking for a place away from the city. We were looking for the country experience with our newborn babe.
Okay.
Ken and I, that is, not Doris and I.
And what kept you here? What was the deciding factor?
The mountains, the earth, the rivers, and the people.
Okay. Now, Doris, tell me about... Where were you born, Carol, by the way?
Brooklyn.
New York?
Brooklyn is in New York.
New York. Okay, I didn't know that.
Another Brooklyn?
Never thought of that. Okay. We'll get back to that. Where were you born, Doris?
Michigan.
Well, what brought you out here?
Yeah, I'm a little farm girl. Lived in Southern California and wanted to raise my family elsewhere and get out of the smog. That was a big driving force.
Okay.
So we moved up here in '73 with another family.
Uh-huh.
Bought a big lodge, Paxton Lodge.
Uh-huh.
It was a mess, fixed it up.
How long did you live there?
I only lived there actually 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I decided,
What was your name?
which one? I
have
have a bunch of names.
I know. What are your bunch of names here, Doris?
I'm Doris Faye Barrage, Pershing, Pound, Livingston.
So, Doris
Pershing.
Faye is...
Doris Faye is Faye is my middle name.
Okay.
Barrage is my first, my maiden name.
Okay.
Then I got married to Ralph Pershing and had a beautiful Jeffrey. And then later I got married to Ron Pound and had a Damon. And now I'm with Bruce Livingston, the famous Bruce Livingston.
I understand he's the videographer.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
That would be me.
That would be you. When did you discover Dixie Canyon?
The summer of, well, actually I moved there in spring of '76. Okay. That's pretty good. Lived there for a summer and never left. Just visiting.
So now, Carol, you live down in Caddy, Upper Caddy.
We can't say Caddy because that's where the murders are.
I know.
So we never say we live in Caddy.
So what do
We
you
live on
say?
the river.
You live on the river. Okay. So what's up, you guys?
What's up?
Yeah, what's up this summer?
Well, should we talk about the bodaciousness part of what's up?
Yes.
Yeah, tell us.
Should we tell them why we're here together?
Well, and why we lasted
As a couple for
as a
so
couple.
many years?
It's kind of confusing, we know,
Yeah, it is.
but it's just something that's happened.
That brings us together.
Yeah.
I want to hear
I
it.
don't talk about it yet. What?
I want to hear it. Oh,
You would.
I have a question for Doris. I understand that in just a few days, on July 10th, you are going to become 62 years old,
Yes, I am.
and you are eligible to start collecting Social Security.
That's one of my important thresholds in life.
I think that is a wonderful thing.
I do too. I don't feel guilty about it at all.
Guilty? Why would you feel
earned
guilty
it.
about it?
Well, some people, the young people may not get this little gift in life.
You don't buy into PERS, right?
I did.
You did. Oh,
I'm
so you
psychic.
still don't get Social Security.
Oh, yeah, I did.
For the years you didn't work.
Oh no. In PERS is a whole different thing. Teachers didn't get Social Security until
Yeah.
recently. No, I paid into Social Security since I was 14 years old.
And I'll feel better about paying into it knowing that you and I are getting a check every month.
Yes. That does make it delicious. I am retired. That's what's happening in my life. I am totally this year turning down all jobs except ballroom dance or whatever, but that's it. I'm staying home and loving it. Just loving the freedom.
And how old are you, Carol?
56.
56.
Young.
You're
Yeah. Still. Unfortunately, because I just have to keep working.
Not forever, Carol. I know.
It could be.
And Carol, what do you do for
Do
a
I
living?
like working? What do I do for a living? I
Yeah.
write grants for social service agencies and help people get money to do really good things for humankind and for the world. And I don't have to do it. I just get the money to do it. Yeah, it's really
You
nice.
get paid for getting the money.
And
to
what's
do it.
up is that thank goodness for technology, because we can do it. I can do that and live at the river and save all the poor people in cities.
Isn't that nice? She's a nice person.
So when you look back on the Main Street experience, when you and Sandy Archer ran Main Street in Quincy, how long ago was that? That was about 15 or 16 years ago?
Yeah, 20, close to
20,
20.
yeah, close to 20. It was 82 or
20, yeah.
82 or 83. How long did that run for?
Did we help anybody by doing it? Yeah, we did.
Didn't you have fun doing it?
Oh, we had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
You did it too, didn't we?
Yeah.
Didn't we try to hire everybody we knew to
Well,
to
I
do
think I
things
helped
like
write the
that?
grant at one point. It was a minor help, but I remember being in on that. That was a fun one.
And a booklet. Didn't you write the Main Street Theater Guide
I
to
can't remember anymore.
a Main Street Theater Guide to Saving the World?
I don't remember anymore.
I think you did. It was a fun experience.
And Doris, you worked at Feather River College. You're still teaching
Forever.
ballroom dancing at Feather River
Yeah.
College? You used
For
to run
them.
the Elder Hostel program?
Yes,
And
I
what'd
did.
you
in the EOPS.
And I was the dean of students, and before that, a director of EOPS.
So both of you are pretty well known for good parties, is that correct?
I hope so.
Yeah, that's a good thing to be known for. That
Yeah,
may be
that's it.
one of the things that we have in common
I
that we can talk
definitely-
about.
And dancing.
Yeah, we like to dance.
We like to dance.
Well, thank you so much for coming to
Thank
speak
you
with us today.
for pulling us away from
Thank
all
you
of
for
those
such
people out
wise questions.
there. Yes. Thank you for the opportunity. Good looking videographer.
And I hope you
too.
figure out what's up.
Thank you. Hey, Mike, I remember running your campaign for county board of supervisor. I remember going to Moon's to celebrate your successful election to the county board of supervisors.
Yeah, and I got creamed.
Yeah, you did.
No, you did not.
Now, which one
20
of us?
votes.
You lost by such a narrow margin.
It was 18 or 20 votes.
Yeah, I guess the problem was, though, we had more at the start than we did at the end,
And
which
I
was an interesting thing.
Well, I remember you were convinced that you'd won, and so we celebrated at Moon's, and then we went over to the courthouse to look at the returns, and they didn't come in right, as I recall.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What I
we were
remember
short a
about
number.
that, though, was once we knew the outcome, and that really was a very narrow loss. You
Yeah.
don't say you got creamed.
You either win or you lose.
Yeah. And we all go filing dejectedly out of the courthouse, and Lisa Adler was right behind me, and she says, "Well, we must be right. We lost again."
So have you run any campaigns since then? Or you
No,
ran for-
no, I've stayed completely out of politics because
that's-
once you left, there was no reason for you to be involved.
Give me a break. Well, I understand you're one of the bigger troublemakers in California, if not
I-
the national scene, when it comes to forest policy, water rights, et cetera, et cetera. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct. It's an interesting gig, and nobody gets to vote.
How did you get to such a place?
By willingness to take cases without money.
Oh, so you're like the Robin Hood lawyer.
Well, I was. Now,
Now it gets paid.
now it pays real well.
Okay, so you're like the what lawyer?
Well, a lot of people would like to know. Basically, I bounce back and forth by trying to do community in a relatively Republican area, and to introduce that area to the reality of California, which is left Democrat.
Okay.
And so I think of myself as an envoy from the Republican gulag to the rest of California.
An envoy. Well, as I remember, you used to do a lot of your work in the bars on Main Street.
Yeah, I haven't drank since about that time.
About that time, okay.
Since 1984.
Because as I remember, well, that was about when you lost that election,
Right.
wasn't it? Okay.
Right.
'Cause
I thought probably I would have won the election if I hadn't been a common drunk.
Okay,
I think that was part of my problem.
all right. Well, now tell us in 5 words or less a little something about the Quincy Library Group. I understand that's been around a short while.
Yeah, almost 10 years. We haven't accomplished much, but we've had a hell of a good time.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you look at it from a greater distance, you've accomplished a lot.
That's true.
You have not accomplished all that you wanted to, or at least
Locally.
not yet.
Right.
But what have you accomplished?
Well, there's a different discussion now about how to protect species. There's an acknowledgement that fire and the increased density we have in the forest are not compatible with long-term health of the species. And while most people in the environmental movement are not yet convinced to do what the Quincy Library Group wants to do, they are being more proactive in the environmental movement, and they are beginning to recognize that this is not a natural ecosystem.
Okay.
And so you can't just turn around and leave it. So in that regard, we may have been somewhat
When you say some of
successful.
the environmental groups, like who?
The National Sierra Club, the
Okay.
National Audubon Society, the National Wilderness Society.
Okay. So they're starting to turn around a little bit?
Yeah, they are. I mean, but unfortunately, from my point of
As a
view,
group or just individuals in the group?
well, individuals in the group, and then they turn the group, and the problem I have is the slowness of it, because the critters are in trouble.
Yeah.
And until we realize that we messed this up and we're going to have to fix it before we get out of the way,
Yeah.
we're going to lose some critters while we dither, and that frustrates me.
So what's up this summer?
Well, I'm working on trying to settle the California water wars.
Oh, that's a
We
minor topic.
recently won a case, Plumas County won a case in the Supreme Court against the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California.
Really?
And we want them to reinvest in the watershed for the economic benefit they get out of the state project being here.
Them being Southern California
Yeah,
users.
the people to whom water is worth $1,000 an acre foot, who get it from free out of the stream.
Okay. I just recently heard a talk by a woman from Shell Oil International, who's their environmental manager. She said that Shell Oil, the second largest corporation on the planet, has just sold all of its coal mines and is buying its water rights. Are you aware of this happening with other energy companies?
We are very aware. In California, we just drove Enron and its water affiliate Azurix into bankruptcy.
How did you do that?
Well, by just holding off from the theory that water is a commodity. Basically, the environmentalists and the rednecks got together and said, hold it. We may argue about what public use to make of the water. But water as a commodity is not in anybody's interest. It should not be traded on the internet. It should not be speculated upon. It is life, and everyone deserves it. The public trust is as old as the 4th century AD. Water is different. Every person is entitled to use it, and it's not a commodity to be bought and sold in the same way that coal is a commodity.
Is that happening elsewhere besides California, where stands like that are being taken against it?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a broad public agreement that there are certain things that are part of the Commonwealth, and air and water. To most people, forests. These are things that people have owned in common for a long time, and it'll stay there.
Is there a national organization that's organized around this principle?
Probably the California Public Trust and the way that California environmental groups use the public trust is the national model.
Okay.
But any poll you take, 90% of the American public want to improve the environment. Only about 15% like environmentalists because they're all elitist and strident and intelligent and far-seeing and all those nasty things. And they make it hard on the rest of them. But they've won because they're right. And so, it'll get better. The question is, does it get better faster?
Well, but going back to the Quincy Library Group, what do you think is going to happen there? Any predictions?
Well, we got $26 million coming this year to begin to put the projects on the ground. We are in the budget for $26 million next year, in addition to the regular Forest Service budget. We'll know within 2 or 3 years whether or not there is any substantial environmental damage done by preparing for the fires.
And what about this latest snafu with the herbicide?
It's just a snafu. It's basically the Forest Service wrote a flawed document in regard to the question of herbicides. These people had a right to sue, should have sued, did sue. The judge took a look at it and realized it wasn't our project that was causing the problem. It was the bad Forest Service document. So he gave them 120 days to rewrite it and told us to go forward.
And you said it was like he gave them 120 days to fix something that ought to take them about 2 weeks.
Yeah, you could fix it in 2 weeks, no question about it. So
let's get back to more personal stuff now. You and Ruth have lived in Quincy for how long?
Well, I've lived here longer than Michael.
Oh, you have, okay.
I moved here in 72 and Michael moved here in 77.
So is that when you met, 1977?
yeah, I was just going through town, literally. And I asked some woman in a bar who the best looking woman in town was, and everybody at the bar said the librarian.
She said beside myself.
Yeah, she did. Actually, she did. And that's why I asked her.
Do we know this woman?
Naja Anna
You
Gowdy.
may not know. Yeah, I
You
don't
may
know.
not know.
Okay.
It's now Ruth's best friend.
She used to.
So you went and looked up Ruth then?
Yeah, I went down there and looked, and damn, she was right. So I spent some time working on Jerry Flanagan to try to arrange, since he knew her.
Dinner or something?
Yeah, we ended up house sitting his house.
Well, I've sat
At the
in
same
his house.
time.
I've sat in his house. Okay.
That's how we met. I liked her a lot more than she liked me because I was drinking in those days.
That was not your most attractive quality.
No, it was not. I was always going to fix somebody when I got drunk.
All right.
Boy, that was necessary.
Is there any,
When did you move here, Mary?
I moved here in 81,
Okay.
and I left in 87.
Yeah, we call those the glory years. Town's gone downhill ever since.
Library's gone downhill.
I mean, we really felt like we were only half as good when the other twin left.
Oh, I can't take this anymore. Well, it's been really nice interviewing you.
Well, it's been nice seeing you again, and we understand that you've done great things back there in the land of cheese.
I'm just an old cheesehead on the Ashland City Council now.
All right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Just tell me when you're on.
You're on, baby. You are on.
Who's interviewing me? Who's asking the question? I'd like to know how long it's taking you to get this beautiful body. I've been working out every day for about 58 years. 58 years? Good job. Yeah. I get up in the morning, lift weights. What are all these people standing around? Because you're just gorgeous. Yeah.
We want to know if your twin sister has the same body.
Come on, Sally. Come here, let's see here. I think so. Nice.
Close. Very close.
Is that close enough? Very close. This will make it an X-rated film, won't it? Yes, it will.
No, PG-13 will work.
Yeah, I've got all my stuff on. It's all covered, but it looks nice cleavage. Yeah, I know. It's got a little roundness up here. Now turn around slowly or a little fast before when you get around like this. Yeah, she's nice.
Please bend over.
Isn't that nice? Well, I'm really happy for her. I know that it took her a long time to get to this situation. Yeah, I'm entering a few competitions this year.
Yeah, exactly. That's good character.
Yeah, what's he doing over there?
Leslie hurt you about
I had a plan there, but a 3-hour tour. Oh,
Hey, how about women? Okay, never mind.
so what's the name of that game? Scotland the Brave!
You really have to bite yourself in,
So does the G minors ever look at the track?
Well, no, we're trying to sell me that they can't treat me
It's Yost the host.
The host with the most, yeah.
And we're sporting insects today.
Oh, the insects? You know what, the pipe in my hand?
Pretty appropriate for an entomologist, yeah?
Yeah. The insects.
Dog, Linda, Chuck.
They're all friends of mine.
Who are those guys?
Every one of them is a friend of mine. I've known all these bugs for years.
Well, we always look forward to your 4th of July party.
Well, it'll be here same time, same day next year.
All right.
And the year after that.
Great.
After that.
And it'll be here 2 years after he's gone.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
Several years after I'm gone.
Because we won't know that.
and if anyone ever buys
If
this
Joe's
place,
still around, we'll have a party anyway.
yeah, if someone buys the place, we'll all just show up on 4th of July.
They don't understand why. You know, anybody. The other day, Mary said, I'd like to go see Wayne's place, so we drove out to Wayne Jenkins' old place. And it's just all overgrown with weeds. I hadn't been there since the day Wayne died. And it was really kind of, really emotional when we drove up there, because I had not been there since then. I used to go out and see Wayne a couple times a week.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a great place to go, and you were his favorite among men.
I was just
And well, no, I tried to tell him, you know, it's going on, man. No more kids, retroactive motion. You know Wayne Jenkins? Yeah. Okay. They're Wayne reminiscing.
Oh, okay, because it's one day longer here anyway. That's the most, yes, we're talking about
tell me, Bruce, what's up?
What's up? Well, I came to Plumas County in 1971. I grew up in Piedmont in the Bay Area, and it was definitely the best move I've ever made. I'm going to stay here for the rest of my life, and I've met a lot of wonderful people here and done a lot of wonderful partying over the years. You can't beat the natural environment, the pace of life, quality of life, parties like this, and I hope not too many people come. I'm sure that more people will find it and want to enjoy it. We have to share it, and I'm glad I ended up in Dixie Canyon. It's a very special place, and I'll be there for the rest of time other than travels. Currently what's up is I'm thinking about retiring. Doris is retired now, and I'm thinking that I should retire so that we can play for a good 10 years while we're still both able to get around and do some hiking and enjoy things. So that's my current plan, is to retire on September 10th when Doris gets her first Social Security check. And then I can work 40 hours a week at Dixie Canyon, and that'll be enough.
I credit you with saving Indian Falls, you know. Remember those days when we kept out the dam?
The Indian Creek Hydro Project
Right.
was one of our successes over the years, and you were a big part of motivating us in terms of that.
Didn't you sit out on the highway with a petition?
I made a 4x8 foot sign and got hundreds of signatures from people opposed to the dam, realizing that the natural beauty of the place was worth preserving.
And you did a lot around Shoefly Bridge, didn't you?
The Shoefly Bridge would not be where it is if I hadn't have intervened. They wanted to move it to Greenville. And we're still talking about someday trying to restore the bridge. And it's up to the Forest Service. It's their bridge. It's their job. I'm willing to help them, but they need to come around a little further, realizing it's worth preserving.
So, what's up here in Plumas County, Bruce Livingston has lots to do with it.
Okay, now we need to pat each other on the back.
Is that it? I gotta see this ending.
Oh, me too.
No, it's still rolling.
Oh, God.
Get the little